This is Mac OS Ken.
Another Apple target goes higher. iPhone see a boost in China. And Apple Vision Pro goes global. It is Monday, the 1st of July, 2024. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken. Brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Apple Intelligence is pushing another Apple price target higher. This time, it's Oppenheimer analyst Martin Yang doing the honors. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote late last week. Like other analysts, Yang thinks the WWDC intro of Apple Intelligence took away any concern that Apple is or was behind in bringing AI to market. In fact, he and his think excitement over Apple Intelligence can potentially accelerate hardware replacement and enable market share gain for iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Apple Intelligence has a lot going for it, according to the note. Big factors include Apple's 2 billion-plus installed base, the synergies Apple creates handling hardware, software, and silicon, and unparalleled levels of user trust and brand affinity. The analyst sees value in Apple's tagline for Apple Intelligence, AI for the rest of us, hearkening as it does to early ads for the Mac, which use the slogan, "The computer for the rest of us." Yang says he and his see many parallels between Apple Intelligence and an Apple product from 40 years ago. Apple is setting a new standard for hardware and software experience for a technology implementation that can appear confusing, intimidating, and jarring for an average consumer. It's like he knows me. And it's possible you ain't seen nothing yet. Quoting the analyst one more time, we suspect that WWDC showcased only a fraction of what Apple Intelligence could do in the future. We expect Apple Intelligence to produce even stronger synergies between different Apple hardware products. Better hardware synergy enables Apple to create a wider and deeper moat once a user enters the ecosystem through iPhone, Mac, iPad, or Apple TV. Mr. Yang has a positive rating on Apple shares. He used last week's note to raise his price target on the shares from $200 to $250. From what's coming to what the heck just happened? TipRanks is tracking a jump for iPhone sales in China. Well, China actually tracked the jump, but TipRanks has called it out. The report has the latest numbers from the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology, indicating that shipments of foreign-branded phones in China rose to 5.028 million units in May, up from 3.603 million in the same period a year earlier. No, they did not say Apple nor iPhone, but the piece points out that Apple is the dominant foreign smartphone maker in China. With that in mind, the 40% year-on-year increase in non-domestic smartphones is read as a 40% increase in iPhones. Apple Vision Pro has officially turned up outside the U.S. A piece from Upload VR saw Apple's special spatial computer go on sale last Friday in China, including Hong Kong, Japan, and Singapore. In China, the headset starts at 30,000 yuan. That's the equivalent of about $4,128 US. In Japan, the entry-level device is 599,800 yen, roughly $3,727 US. And in Singapore, you can walk out with one for $5,300 Singapore, about $3,910 US. On its online news site, Apple posted pics of people trying or buying Apple Vision Pro at various stores across the countries. A headline from iMore referred to packed Apple stores in relation to the product's launch, though that seems to have been based solely on the pictures Apple posted. If we don't live in one of those countries or frequent one of those stores, it's hard to know whether the stores were any more packed than they normally are. Still, they weren't empty, so that's something. On the same day that sales started in the aforementioned Asian countries, orders got underway for a few other regions. Another piece from Upload VR had Apple Vision Pro orders starting Friday for Australia, Canada, France, Germany, and the UK. Running through pricing there, and there. Entry-level Apple Vision Pro in Australia will go for $6,000 Australian, right at $4,000 US. In Canada, it'll go for $5,000 Canadian, about $3,660 US. In Germany and France, it'll sell for 4,000 euros. That's about $4,300 US. And in the UK, Vision Pro starts at £3,500, about $4,430 US. Deliveries and, one assumes, in-store sales and demos are set to hit the round 3 countries on Friday, the 12th of July. News over the weekend of a more affordable Apple Vision headset. Mac Rumors cites a report from the Elec that says the Cupertino companies issued a request for information to Samsung Display and LG Display for displays for a less expensive spatial computer. These displays would be larger than those currently used in the Vision Pro and feature a lower resolution, according to the report. So not as great, then again not as pricey. All of that said, do not hold your breath, at least not based on this report. It indicates that the earliest Apple might have a lower priced headset ready is the end of 2025. Having a normal one are Apple and the European Commission, specifically EU Competition Commissioner Margrethe Vestager. Engadget highlights a report from the site Euractiv that had the competition exec saying that Apple's decision to not launch Apple Intelligence in the EU this fall is totes anti-competitive. What Apple has said, according to the report, is that it would delay the rollout of certain features in the European Union, including Apple Intelligence AI tools, over concerns that the interoperability requirements of the DMA could force it to compromise the integrity of its products in ways that risk user privacy and data security. According to Vestager, Apple's decision is a stunning open declaration that they know 100% that this is another way of disabling competition where they have a stronghold already. A stronghold in what? AI? Because 2 weeks ago, everybody and his cousin said Apple was way behind in AI. Playing devil's advocate for a moment, what if the DMA required Apple to open Apple Intelligence to any LLM that demanded access? Agree with it or not, the European Commission has ideas and an understanding about competition. Does it know enough about privacy, technology, and LLMs to decide what's required to be open to them? I'm not saying Vestager is wrong. I honestly don't know. That said, the Cupertino company's concerns, apparently on behalf of its customers, could be warranted. Speaking of fights and the European Union, Fortnite is moving back toward the iPhone. Post-DMA, Fortnite publisher Epic Games had said that it planned to bring the game back to iPhone through a third-party app store of its own. Now a piece from Apple Insider has the company saying on Twitter that it has submitted both the Epic Games Store and the updated Fortnite app to Apple for its required notarization process. It will be interesting to see how long this takes. And finally today, more growth spotted for Apple TV Plus in the US. 9to5Mac has new numbers from streaming tracker JustWatch that show Apple picking up another percentage point in the second quarter of this year, which ended, I think, about 20 minutes ago maybe. The report says a time or two that the Cupertino streamer has overtaken Paramount Plus. Not sure how they figured that, though, since they both finished the June quarter with 9% of the market. Running the U.S. streaming list from top to bottom, Amazon Prime Video and Netflix each have 22%, Max has 14%, Disney Plus has 11%, Hulu has 10%, Apple TV Plus and Paramount Plus both have 9% each, and everybody else gets to split 3%. While Slow and Steady may not win this race, they are making it interesting. End of last year, Apple TV Plus had 7% of U.S. streaming viewership. End of the March quarter, it had 8%. Now 9%. For its part, 9 to 5 Mac figures second seasons of Pachinko, Severance, and Silo later this year could accelerate growth for Apple's streaming service. I haven't watched Pachinko, by the way. I don't like to start a series that I don't know is going to end. I will say, though, I started reading the book recently. Boy, is it amazing. I can't say what it is. I can't say why. I'm just finding that book incredible. So, there you go. I'm that idiot who says, "No, I've never seen the show, but I have read the book." macOS Ken, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.